Hey everybody, it's Rob here. The Frosty Strides Sorc. It was a fucking insane build on the PTR. It's actually making a comeback here for speedruns. You can see some gameplay here from Mekuna. He also did 120 on his Sorc, and it's basically an immortal sorcerer that is using the Frosty Stride aspect whenever he evades at low life, completely immortal and crazy speed. You see him here in 100, and you know, Sorc is not really on the powerful end, but this build at the moment seems to be rocking like crazy and is one of the fastest speed farmer. Like farming pit materials here on low tier, you guys can see him just like crushing in here, like pit 100 on a Sorc, completely speed farming it. Low life build here with the Frosty Strides. You can see this crazy poison explosion, sorry, not poison, cold explosion here that's doing compared with his dot damage and his immortality, and it looks insanely fast, and this was one of the fastest builds in the PTR already. It's still insane. Also rocking 120 pit clear here with a slightly adjusted version of the dot build, so that is pretty insane. But I'm just mostly amazed by the speed clear, man. I might just make a Sorc just to play this build because they essentially nerfed this Frosty Stride aspect a little bit, but it still seems to be pretty strong here to rock triple digit pits. I did not expect this. I did not expect this at all. And it's looking pretty good. So the Sorcers are here, like you see, he just like jumps the targets, he blasts them down, and they die like insanely fast. Bam, bam, bam. That is really strong. Man, and then you also have the pixel pool with the Raven, so you're just putting them all together, getting them together, and then just blasting them down completely. Oh boy. Sorc is back on the menu, my friends. Nah, he does not have perfect gear. I mean, he didn't show his gear, unfortunately, in this video. I'll probably make a follow-up and show the gear and stuff. But yeah, it looks pretty good here. He's just blasted down. Obviously, Sorc is a bit weaker than other classes. Sorc is a bit weaker. But this is still insane. Turn off the music a bit. As he just blasts down the boss. I think the boss just still takes a little bit of time. But you see the run he did in 2 minutes. Let's see the boss here. I think he's going down too. Yeah, the boss is still a bit of an issue. I mean, you can just do this in like 90, 95, and you'll be flying over the screen. Like even the staggered boss, he has damage numbers disabled, man. It's probably like hard to look at when you're the Sorc. But yeah, the planner and the video are gonna be in the description, so check out Mekuna. Frosty Strides Sorc. This is the build I think you love to play the most. And yeah, there you have it here. Sub 3 minutes, 100. Pretty comfortable, I would say. Frosty Strides Sorc. And it's this aspect here what it's revolved around. Thanks, man. This is the aspect it's revolving around here. Frosty Strides. While below 55% life, you can keep this life permanently with your Flame Shield because you have it up all the time when you're using your hectic stuff. And with this aspect here, you can actually keep this permanently and always get 15,000 cold damage, which is a lot. If you compare it with your weapon, like normal weapon here is 4k, this one still does 14, which is still about 3.5 times as strong as your 100% weapon damage. So that is pretty sick. And there's the full planner here in the description. So that's how it looks like. Harlequin's Crest, Raymond's, Flame Weaver, Hectic, Frosty Strides, Inner Calm, Moonrise, Tarasha, Adaptability, Stormswell. And then you don't want any other skills on your bar because you basically want your Hectic to always reduce your Flame Shield cooldown. You don't need to do anything else but cast Firewall, which doesn't have a cooldown, so it doesn't eat the Hectic procs. And then you just press Flame Shield, and then you start evading with the Teleport enchant, and you know, just proccing this Frosty Strides. And that's insane. Obviously, my Barb here has a lot of life, but the Sorcerer just has an infinity symbol here. Like 400,000 life. No. Sorc is just immune all the time. You can see it here in the run. Like he never runs out of his Flame Shield. Like see here, whenever the cooldown is popping up, his Flame Shield is already ready again to be cast. So he just has this all the time, this Flame Shield. There's a temper called Flame Shield Duration, and that's, I think, exactly what he's using here. Like you see here, Flame Shield Duration, 15% base. It's insane. And that's basically what allows this. This is the skill tree. Let's try and show this to real quick. Combustion and the Paragon tree. Elementalist in the starter board. Destruction. Burning Instinct. Tactician. Pyromancy. Charged. Frigid Fate. Exploit. Enchanter. Pretty good boards. And this is the speed variant. He also managed to do 120 here with his Sorc. I'm also going to link that in the description, so definitely check out Mekuna. And yeah, he's just blitzing through, completely crushing this as well. And he makes it look like a speed run. You see here, like the run itself, the Sorcerer is extremely fast. But what the Sorcerer is really struggling at, and that's why they're stuck at 120, is the boss fight. You basically have no good way of doing any kind of significant single target damage on these bosses, unfortunately. And you guys can see here in the Rift, he's also playing Raymond, Immortal Sorc, again, Perma Flame Shield. No Frosty Strides now, just a push setup. And there's also a planner here for the Immortal Boss Killer Raymond variant. I'm also going to put that in the description. But again, this one is struggling a bit against single target. This is what's limiting the Sorc. It's still ahead of Druid. I think Druid, the highest right now, is 118. And yeah, Sorc is already here at 120. But then there's Necros at 142. Barbarians in the middle of 135s. I did land on 135 yesterday. And then there's Rogues also somewhere around the 134s, I think. So it's getting pretty crazy. But yeah, he's blasting through the run. But yeah, you guys can see half the run is basically the boss fight. And he just makes it barely to kill the boss here at the very end. So I'm really hoping for some mid-season Sorc buffs. The entire planner is going to be here as well. So 120 done. Probably the first Sorc at the moment. This is the Raymond variant. Harlequin's Crest, Raymond, Flameweaver, Hectic. So very similar. Stormswell, Adaptability, Tarashas, Moonrise. And then these are the skills that he chooses. Again, Firebolt, Teleport, Enchantment. This is the push setup skill tree. They're looking pretty good, like very similar to the other board. Elementalist, Burning Instinct, this all seems about the same, but he now is basically scaling the burning damage with crit as a multiplier. Similar to how we on Barb stack the bleeds, the dot bleeds, he's stacking the dot burning with the Burning Instinct. And this is, again, one of the few Paragon nodes that is still completely uncapped. You can get crazy amounts of this Burning Instinct. And then he's rocking Pyromancy, he is rocking Charged in the Frigid Fate board, he is rocking Exploit, and finally Enchanter. So these setups are very similar, but I would just encourage you to try out, if you're playing a Sorc, of course. If you're not playing a Sorc, then play Barb. But I would encourage you to try out this Frosty Strides setup. Like, he's actually blitzing through, and it's very efficient to do tiers fast. So probably go into the 90s, 95s, and that's where you can get a lot of materials. You're aiming to do sub 3-minute runs, just like Mekuna is doing here. And I think it's going to be still very strong. And I'm still very hyped about the Frosty Strides. This tier list and this playstyle just looks insane. A lot of fun. And we'll see where it lands here. But for material farming, looks like a huge W. Yeah, overall, Sorc still needs some love here. Still a bit behind. But we'll see how that's going to turn out. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. My friends, I'll be keeping pushing Barb. And maybe I'll make a Rogue or a Sorc. We'll see. Let me know in the comments what I should play. Take it easy, my friends. GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.